The reason why Andrew Tate's walk is so unattractive and ugly is because his feet is sticking out like duck feet like this, and he's hyperextending the knees. And this is the missing piece of health. We're not speaking about movement, we're not speaking about posture or fascia. It's an overlooked topic that no one actually speaks about. So in this video, I'll speak about what fascia is, what movement is, how we got poor posture today, what the reason is, and how you can actually fix your fascia and your posture so you can feel better, you can feel healthier, and you fix your health issues. So if we take Andrew Tate and we take Brad Pitt side by side and we look at their posture and their way of walking, you can see that Andrew Tate hyperextend his knees and his toes is sticking out like this, which looks very unattractive. Meanwhile, when you look at Brad Pitt, he has this perfect linear walk and his feet is basically sticking in exactly natural, exactly the way it should be. Every single animal in nature moves like this, spiral inwards just like this. And if you look at babies, they often crawl inwards with their hands pointing inwards and their feet pointing inwards. And if you don't manage to actually master the ground movements as a baby, then you will have poor posture and poor movement and poor fascia when you grow up, exactly like Andrew Tate has. Most parents force their babies to walk on their 2 feet before they master the ground movements. And as I said, if your parent, and it's most likely this case, like your parent has been forcing you to walk on your legs before you've actually been able to find good ground movement and good proper stable movement on the ground, and therefore you have poor posture today. You have nerd neck, you have scoliosis, you have hyperextension in your knees, you have rounded back, you have rounded shoulders, you have anterior pelvic tilt. All this stems from you not being able to move properly when you were a baby and you were forced to sit down in front of computers in school and work and whatever. And the reason why no one actually speaks about this is because we're sitting down and we're stagnant 24/7. The average guy, the average person is waking up, laying down in his bed, then he goes to his kitchen, he's sitting down eating breakfast, then after his breakfast he's sitting down in his car on his way to his job that he's also sitting down for another 8 hours, and then on his way home from work he's sitting down, and then when he comes home he's sitting down in front of a table eating dinner, and then maybe luckily he goes to the gym and he's sitting down doing isolated movements like this, and then he drives home sitting down, and then he's sitting in the couch until it's time to lay down in the bed, which means he's not actually getting any natural movements at all. He's very stagnant. And what happens when you are stagnant? The worst thing in nature is stagnation, and whenever there's anything stagnant in nature, it gets weak and punished by nature because nature hates stagnation. You can see this with sick animals, for example. They're always, if they don't move, they will get weak, they will get poor posture, they will get unnatural results. Same thing with water. If water is stagnant, it will turn into a mud. So what you have to realize is stagnation is the worst thing when it comes to your health and your posture. So what is fascia that I mentioned in the beginning of this video? So fascia is a continuous web of connective tissue that runs through your whole body. So from top to toe, you have a sort of a web, connective web that runs through all your muscles. It wraps around your organs, and it is something that no one speaks about or no one actually understands. Often when we're speaking about posture and when health gurus or personal trainers speaks about posture, they often speak about strengthening your muscles in your weaker areas, but this is not actually the full truth, and it is something very overlooked. So fascia adapts to your movements. This connective tissue, this web adapts to your movements. So if you're only moving in restricted movements, basically, let's say you go to the gym and you do bench press like this, your fascia will get used to this movement, only this movement. So if you're trying to move outside of this, like let's say you do boxing or you do any athletic action, like you play football or something, most likely if you see bodybuilders, they're trying to do boxing or they're trying to play football, whatever, they're very, very stiff. They cannot move naturally. It looks very unnatural. they're very bulky, and this is just because their fascia is very restricted, and the fascia only memorizes the isolated movements that they've been doing for years and years and years, right? So that's why it's so important to take fascia into consideration when it comes to health and when it comes to movement and posture. Fascia also plays a key role to how you feel in your body and your nervous system. It's directly connected to your nervous system. So let's say you don't actually feel safe in your body, you don't feel confident or stable in your body, then it's most likely a fascia problem. Your fascia is restricted, your fascia has been basically memorizing your movement when you're sitting down and when you're laying down and when you're doing these isolated movements at the gym. It doesn't actually know how it feels to move naturally in nature, to climb, to walk, to sprint, to lay down, to crawl. Those are movements that we never do today. I know exactly how it is because back in the days I was this typical gym bro of just like laying on the couch, sitting down 24/7, looking at my phone, slouched over, and then I was going to the gym, working out for like 2 hours maybe, but in between me working out, I was also sitting down, hunched over, and I thought that would fix my health and that would, fix my insecurity when it comes to how I felt in my own body. I know exactly how it is. So that's why, even though I had big muscles, I didn't feel stable. When I was standing up, I didn't feel safe. Even though I was big, I didn't feel safe. So I know exactly how it is, and that led to me having nerd neck, having rounded shoulders, having rounded back, having back stiffness, having anterior pelvic tilt, having scoliosis, having hyperextension in my knees, having Andrew Tate duck feet just pointing outwards. When you have a lifestyle of stagnation, your body will, as I said, get very dehydrated. Your fascia will get dehydrated, very stiff, it will basically get shrunken together and stiffer. And if you don't loosen up your fascia after that, you will always live in a sympathetic nervous system mode where your body thinks that there's some external threat that is right in front of you, like a lion, for example. But if you loosen up your fascia, you will feel safe in your body. You will be in a parasympathetic nervous system mode where you feel grounded and you feel safe and you feel good because your whole body is loosened up and you can move in ways that you've never moved in before. So this means that you can have the best diet, you can have the best workouts, you can have the best sleep, you can have the best light environment. But if your fascia and if you've been moving wrong for your whole life, you won't actually feel safe in your body. You will be in a sympathetic nervous system mode, and you won't actually know what's wrong with you because you will still have health issues and you will move poorly and you will just feel unnatural. So I will make this very simple. How do you actually fix your fascia? How do you fix your posture? Number one thing is fixing your feet, because everything stems from the ground. Everything stems from your feet basically, and most people got really restricted and stiff fascia in their feet. So first thing you need to do is loosen up your fascia. How do you do that? Well, you actually take a ball like this. You can use a tennis ball, you can use a whatever, just a ball basically, a hard ball. And then wherever you feel stiff, I would start with your feet. You will take this ball, you will put it on the ground, you will roll your feet on the ball and loosen up your feet basically. Do this for 2 minutes a day. And then also, let's say you feel stiff in your chest area, then you can just take a ball like this, you can roll it over here and you will feel your fascia loosening up. It will feel very good, it will feel great. Let's say you've been sitting for your whole life, this will feel like super good for you. It always tingle a lot, so let's say you do it here on the chest, you will feel tingling sensations all in your body, and that's a good indicator that you're loosening up tight and dehydrated fascia. While you loosen up fascia, you need to make sure that you're actually hydrating properly with water, because fascia is also made out of liquid and gel. So if you're not hydrating with water with Celtic sea salt or fruits or raw milk, for example, then you will still not have good and hydrated fascia basically. Another very important thing when it comes to the feet is buying grounding shoes or barefoot shoes, so you can always have your toes pointed outwards, because in today's society we have these plastic shoes that makes your fascia very restricted and your feet basically like this, which is unnatural. And if you look at nature, and if you look at humans that live in nature that doesn't even use shoes, their feet is gonna be like this. It's gonna point outwards, and that means they will have strong toes, they will have strong feet that have great fascia. And if you have good feet, then everything else will follow, because everything stems from the ground and from the feet basically. So this means buy bare feet shoes, or if you're in a country where it's not that cold, then walk barefoot as much as possible. That's what I'm doing every single day. The only thing I wear on my feet is grounding bare feet shoes. So not only do I walk bare feet, I also am grounded and connected to earth, which helps me reduce inflammation and helps me regulate my nervous system a lot. Just because I have this copper thing that is connected to the earth that goes up and directly touches my feet. So that is also very, very important for you to focus on. Also, another simple thing here is to walk. You have to walk, you have to move. You can sit down on the ground, lay down on the ground. Something that can support your body, and something that can, just you reprogram yourself out of these stiff and these movements you've been doing for your whole life. If you never go outside of the movements you've been doing for your whole life, you will never reprogram your fascia. So move in patterns that you haven't moved before. Walk with your feet pointed inwards. Subconsciously reprogram your fascia and your mind that you walk like this now. You don't longer walk like Andrew Tate, and actually put one foot in front of the other foot straight in a line, exactly as Brad Pitt is doing. Walking helps a lot, standing up helps a lot, being conscious of your posture helps a lot as well. But first step is taking care of the feet and loosen up the fascia with a ball basically. That's a very beginner friendly guide to fixing your fascia and fixing your posture. Start with the feet, start with moving more, start with releasing fascia with a ball. And then I can make more videos about this, and I will also have this in my school community and for my one-on-one clients. But do this so you can actually uncook yourself, and this might be the missing piece to your health. And if you've been struggling with poor health and poor posture and bad nervous system, and you don't feel secure in your own body, then this might be the missing piece. So make sure you actually take action on these steps, and I'll see you guys in the next one.